This is your Fox 10 News Now update.
Hi everyone, Eric Reynolds with your Fox 10 News Now update. More fallout from the 2020 race for president. Attorney General William Barr has authorized federal prosecutors across the United States to pursue what he calls substantial allegations of voting irregularities, if they exist, before the 2020 presidential election is certified. Officials say that AG Barr's action comes despite little evidence of fraud in the presidential election. A Justice Department official quit in protest of the decision. Richard Pliger resigning as the DOJ's top election crimes prosecutor. Pliger says that AG Barr's memo did away with a 40-year-old policy of not interfering in ballot fraud investigations before an election becomes certified. This all comes as President Trump and his legal team are continuing to challenge the voting results from the presidential election. The president and his advisors say that no concession is coming before they exhaust every legal option. Members of Congress on both sides of the aisle are reacting to the decision.
President Trump is 100% within his rights to look into allegations of irregularities and weigh his legal options.
Joe Biden won this election fair and square. The margins of his victory are growing by the day.
Election officials in states, including Georgia, that are still counting votes have dismissed accusations of election fraud. Meantime, President-elect Joe Biden laying out his plans to combat the coronavirus pandemic. The president-elect announcing the members of his new COVID advisory board. He says that his team is looking to create a stronger, unified response to the pandemic.
This group will advise on detailed plans built on a bedrock of science and to keep compassion, empathy, and care for every American at its core.
Today, the president-elect is expected to deliver a speech defending the Affordable Care Act. It comes the same day as the United States Supreme Court hears arguments on the merits of the law.
I'm meteorologist Michael White with your Fox 10 Storm Tracker report. Of course, our focus is what's going to be happening with Eta in the days ahead. It is still a tropical storm, and it has gone stationary, as now it has gone from being around Key West yesterday morning to now being on the western tip of Cuba this morning. So it's moved westward, and now it's just decided to stop. And the question is, what's going to happen with this thing? Is it going to move back toward the Florida Peninsula? Is it going to be impacting our weather? Will it weaken? Well, here are the current statistics on it as of just before 4:30 this morning. It is stationary. The maximum sustained winds are at 50 miles per hour, so it's a mid-grade tropical storm that's just sitting on the northwestern tip of Cuba. The latest track from the Hurricane Center office in Miami shows it getting stronger by the time we hit tomorrow, and then working its way northward towards us, but dying off as a tropical depression by the end of the weekend. The winds would settle down to about 35 miles an hour, so it'd be a good news, bad news scenario where we would end up dealing primarily with the brunt of the rain from it, but it would be nothing more than a tropical depression by the time it got here Saturday night at midnight with the winds at 35 miles an hour. However, that's not set in stone, and we say that because you look at the size of the cone. The cone covers everyone from New Orleans to Valdosta, so that is definitely not a certainty that this weekend we will see Eta working its way towards us, but it will be significantly weaker if the projections are right by the time the weekend gets here. And it really wouldn't be much more than a rainmaker, but that's what we'll keep our fingers crossed, that that's the way it plays out if it does end up coming this way. Weather headlines for your Tuesday. We're going to track Eta. Temperatures stay warm, and as far as rain chances, we'll have an isolated chance today, better chances tomorrow for Veterans Day Wednesday. We put the clock in motion. The sky mostly cloudy. Yesterday we tied a record high that was set back in the mid-1980s. Today we might be just a couple of degrees cooler than that, but you can see some isolated showers pop in this afternoon and this evening. They will track their way from east to west, but no overwhelming rain chances within the next 24 hours. Here's how the next 7 days are going to stack up. Highs each afternoon, low 80s. The mornings stay muggy, but the humidity declines at the end of the week, and we go drier by the time we head into Friday and the weekend. Highs go back to the upper 70s, and that forecast is tentative depending on what happens with Eta. We'll have weather updates throughout the day right here on Fox 10 News Now.
Thanks, Michael. The coronavirus shaking up college football once again, with several Bulldogs now under quarantine this week. Auburn and Mississippi State's matchup this Saturday postponed now until December the 12th. And now the matchup between the #1 ranked Alabama Crimson Tide and the defending national champs, the LSU Tigers, could be in jeopardy as well. LSU head coach Ed Orgeron says that several players tested positive for COVID-19, and the team is now undergoing contact tracing. Right now, though, the Alabama-LSU game still on for Saturday in Baton Rouge.
Stay tuned to Fox 10 News throughout the day for the latest updates. This has been your Fox 10 News Now update.